Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. We are going to be using the brand new Triumph Daytona 765 Moto2 edition. And my goodness, I don't think I've fallen in love with a bike like this in quite a long time. Of course, massive respect for Triumph because of what they've done for Moto2. I think since Triumph engines have taken over, Moto2 has been extremely exciting, and it's probably been one of the best championships I've ever seen in recent years, always competitive. Every now and again you get the few runaway riders, but most of the time I've had a fantastic time. Obviously it's not just down to the engine, but Moto2 is fantastic ever since this bike, and now they've released an actual race replica version of this bike to actually use and buy. And it's absolutely fantastic, and in Ride 4 it is phenomenal. So we're here in Donington Park, just testing the Triumph out. Made a custom livery to match the bike, which has got the black and white Union Jack on it. And of course this is going to be a very simple attack of Donington Park, just to try and get the time attack for the first mode of the career, which is I think it's just called the Triumph Daytona 765 Cup. Something like that anyway. Absolutely loving this bike. The new update isn't too bad, it seems. It still feels a bit off compared to the physics and the feeling, but it's not the end of the world. I'm still running the same settings as always, the same electronics, same traction control, same anti-wheelie and engine brake. I'll keep it that way for quite a while. It seems to be the best to use for this new sort of update. And that is going to conclude Donington Park. Beautifully done on the Triumph Daytona Moto2 765. So here we go now in Laguna Seca in the wet. Hadn't tried this bike in the wet until now, but here it is. A relatively decent start, no wheeling, good to see. Can make a relatively decent start. We're still in the same position for now. We're going to try and slowly work our way forward. Careful not to bump the other riders. Oh, a bit of slide there in the rear tyre. Trying to incorporate too much rear brake. There's the Andretti hairpin. As we approach turn 3. Not going to have a go up here on the tyre rider just yet as we slide on the rumble strip. Got to avoid the rumble strips in the wet. And to be honest, you have to avoid the rumble strips on this track. For some reason they are pretty lethal. Remember the 40-minute endurance race I did where I had to play catch-up for the majority of it. I crashed a couple of times on the rumble strips. Now attacking Olan Dankling. Going around the outside. Beautifully done. Chinese man ahead. A little bit wide there, so the tyre rider will get back ahead. But I'm sure if we push, we can get him in the corkscrew, as we will attempt now. He's going to try and hang around the outside, but it's not going to happen. We get him into the corkscrew. Magnificent feeling on this Triumph compared to the other bikes. Really good stuff so far. A little bit wide on the rumble strip there, but nothing to concern ourselves about. Turn 10. Dryline looks to be forming a little bit as the rumble strip. Deadly. You have to avoid them on this track. It's so hard for me because I usually use the majority of the track. Every inch of tarmac is used in somewhat a bit of the rumble strip. So the Asian man ahead, Chang Yuhan. I'm going to slowly tip it into the left of the Andretti hairpin, holding it left to line him up for a potential move on the right hand side here. It's going to be a lunge. We've got him. Beautifully done. A little bit too eager on the throttle there on the exit of turn 3. Turn 4 approaching nicely. Eddie McDowell in our sights next. Getting into the slipstream, looking all the time for a possible overtaking manoeuvre. Turn 5 does not give us any answers for an overtake. Turn 6. Is it going to be this one? We definitely thought about it. He's right wide. We've got him. Forcing Eddie McDowell wide was the key to a good overtake there. Now, of course, the corkscrew to contend with for the second time. Flicking it left, holding it right, 80 kilometers, rocketing down through the corkscrew. So we hold it left. Waiting for a moment, trying to get in the slipstream, trying to catch as much time as possible upon Peter Akos. And as you can see, the dry line is forming already. Is that going to play in the hands of any of these riders? We're all running the rain tyres, of course. And there is no option to swap during a normal Grand Prix in Ride 4. And I think even if he did, he would lose way too much time. I'm going to be lining him up here, coming around the outside. Oh, he's going to get in the way! He absolutely clobbered me there. He did not want me to pass in turn 1. So oh, look how much we close in on him here. We carried a lot of speed through turn 3. I'm going to eye him up for turn 4 now. We're not going to be able to go around the outside. Can't fault me for at least believing we can go around the outside in every corner. If you'd like to try it. As we tackle turn 5. Still no sign of a move yet. The best is yet to come. We're almost there. Constantly pondering. It's a whole game of calculating of where you can overtake and where you cannot. And I think we've got him here. Into the corkscrew. We're going to run it a little bit light. Oh, lifted him up. As we rocket down the corkscrew again. Remember Ben Spies pulling off a ridiculous move in there in the AMA Super... I think it was in the AMA Superbikes. Might have been World Superbikes. I had a little bit of a flashback the other day when I was playing this game. I remember him going for an audacious lunge over 2 riders. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Shout out to Ben Spies anyway, I've not seen him in years. He was an awesome rider. I think he's retired now, isn't he? I think it's fitting to speak about Ben Spies in this track like this, right? So now the lead is in our hands. A little bit wide there. Trying to use a lot of the rear brake just to slow this bike in. And then for some reason cutting a bit of the sand. Well, yeah, as I say, this Triumph, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loving this bike. I think I'll be using this for many, many years to come. Fun fact as well, if you go into the helmet cam, it says number 1 of 765 bikes that they've made. So in the game we all have the number 1 variants of this bike. Awesome. Also hope you like the livery. If you do like the livery, you can download this on the Ride4 store, providing you're on PC. Username is DrAce, so if you want to find any of my liveries or suits, feel free to jump on there. Some people keep downloading my helmets. I mean, by all means, I appreciate you downloading the helmets. But I don't know. You're trying to steal my identity there. Well, yeah, I've had a few people download quite a lot of stuff. I did a Movistar Yamaha livery, which the suit garnered around 95 downloads or something like that. So I think everyone's enjoying that one. Hopefully I did a decent job. As we leave turn 11 now. As you can see, the track is drying all the time. We'll have to be pretty careful now in this next lap. We already lost a second. So, oh! Whacking all the curbs! It's not what we had in mind. It's the Andretti hairpin for the final time of asking. Still pushing the bike. Very difficult here to keep the bike straight. A little bit too eager on the throttle, I am. Again there. But I'd say that's more since the update. There is a little bit of a lack of feeling on the throttle. But as far as the bike goes, it does a fantastic job of giving you a feeling of strength and braking. I'll say the brakes on this bike are probably its best asset. But to be honest, there's no negative to this bike. I absolutely love it. Really, really impressed with this. Now, if we could use this bike on the original physics, that would be my Christmas sorted. So speaking of Christmas, as in effectively 2 days. Wow. Bloody hell, Christmas is upon us already. But I do have a 40-minute endurance race for Christmas Day. I will be doing probably 2 videos that day. Special day, of course. One of them will be the endurance race. I do believe it's the Suzuki on the Road Atlanta. So keep an eye out for that Christmas Day. Make sure you got the notification bell turned on. Whether you're sat having Christmas dinner with your granny, or if you be watching a DrAce video, here's a wheelie as we cross the line. Here we are in Mugello for the final Grand Prix of today, on board the Triumph Daytona 765 Moto2 version. As we are in 6th place, see what we can do from here. We're going to try and keep it on this left-hand side as we avoid a bit of contact there with one of the eager riders. We'll try and keep on the left and try and go around the outside as we enter San Donato for the very first time. Looks like we're going to get a couple of riders. Oh, contact made! Massive contact there from the South African. He said, bugger, you're going around the outside move. And he doesn't care too much for that move. So we'll have to line him up for another move perhaps. As we now enter the magnificent corner of Materassi. Going flicking it left. Whoa! Almost contact again with the South African. Getting really hectic here in Mugello. Bloody brilliant track. We tell you what, we're going to go for my favourite move here and casting over into Savelli. Can we make it work? Can we go? Oh, we almost had two riders. Looking like Mattia Pizzini there. Bloody brilliant stuff. There's now Sabina Ferry. She's going slow in Arrabbiata 1. Might even be able to line her up in Arrabbiata 2. A little bit of a twitch there as we almost lost the front. There's now the two Italians ahead. Not going to be a move here in Scarpa for the time being. I'm going to run it a little bit wider there to then get the exit into Pelagio. Brilliantly done. Look at the amount of speed we gathered from there. And now making our move upon Ferry. Can we go around the outside of Giovanni Peretti as Sabina Ferry, brave and audacious lunge to go back on the inside. So we go around the outside in Biandetti 1. Flick it right for Biandetti 2. What a fantastic race this has been so far. Sabina Ferry. She looked like she was dead in the water when we made that overtake, and here she is in second place. There's a little bit of a twitch there, as I felt that Sarah Morrow was going to bump me. Contact averted. So here we go. This concludes the first lap of the Grand Prix of Italy. As Lara Bratsov has now been relegated to second, as Sabina Ferry. She must have had a massive wake-up call into Scarpa because she's now leading this Italian Grand Prix. So into San Donato. Careful not to bump the rider ahead of us, the German. Not great at overtaking in Luco. Neither in Poggio Secco. It's a difficult corner to make in a move, so we won't be making an attempt there. But into Materassi, I'm very confident into Materassi, but we're not going to make a move here. And Sabina Ferry looks to be getting away here. The gap is now over to 1 second. And we are currently held up behind the German. But we will not be making a move into Casanova and Savelli. We're a little bit hesitant there. Certainly thought about it, but we weren't close enough. Arrabbiata 1. Arrabbiata 2 coming around the outside as we enter Arrabbiata 2. Beautifully done there. Sabina's gap is about 1.2 seconds. So we need to close that in sooner rather than later. So as we exit turn 11 now. Pretty nicely there. Just avoided the rumble strip as well. As we now enter Corantaio. Magnificent part of the track. Usually where the Ducati grandstand is, but not today. Because no one cares to be watching this race in Ride 4 apparently. Or if there are, there's just minimum amount of people. Unless it's the COVID-19 affected Ride 4. I mean, there's a few people in the Simoncelli grandstand. Sabina Ferry still leading this Grand Prix, about 7/10 of a second now. We are not going to use that weird racing line that this game uses for some reason. I think they use that line because of the Mugello short variant, because that would be the optimal line. But I'm not sure. We managed to close another 0.2 of a second in there just by using the different line. And since the AI doesn't seem to fully accelerate, which has to be fixed. I mean, I keep seeing in comment section people complaining about this, and for the right reason. The AI would be so much more interesting if they just opened the throttle a little bit more. But nonetheless, we have a race to contend with as we make a move into Materassi. Whoa! Pinched her pockets. It was a little bit aggressive, that one, but hey ho, it's fine. A little bit wide there as well as we enter Casanova. Flick it left for Savelli. Gorgeous move. Now it's time, as you can see, now we've got ahead. We're really pushing it now. The gap is over 0.9 of a second already. A little bit wide into Arrabbiata 1. But we line up Arrabbiata 2 much, much better. Much cleaner. Now Scarpa at 10-4, 27 degrees here in Mugello. In this wonderful area of Tuscany. And the gap is over 1.3 already. 1.4 now. Hello, Ducati Grandstand. we see again. But one of the best parts of the track, this. Biandetti 1. Flick it right for Biandetti 2. Whoa, a little bit on the green there. Surprised didn't get a penalty. And again there. Now Baccini, for the 4th time of asking. Or rather, 3rd time. I do believe, I think it might be this one actually, where I tend to forget the laps. I think I did this in a previous video. I don't know if it is this track or not, but I ended up slowing down on the 4th lap and I was like, yes, another victory. Oh, it isn't finished. So now entering San Donato. A little bit of rear brake there just to help us in the corner. Wasn't my cleanest entry into San Donato. Now Luco. Poggio Secco. Brilliant. Brilliant entry and exit there. This should be a bloody good lap if we can keep this going. We're already up by 0.2 of a second. Tell you what, this... I know the update is obviously makes it a little bit easier, but this Triumph really sticks to the... It really sticks to the tarmac. I'm really impressed with it. It doesn't feel... dumbed down like the other ones do. It does feel quite loose, but also very, very stable at the same time. I'm enjoying it. Very, very much so, as this gap is now over 4 seconds. I am lethal in Mugello, so do not let me get ahead, I guess. Maybe one day we'll get a more difficult AI that can actually contend. I must say the AI on MXGP 2020 is very tough though. So especially compared to this game, if we can get more of a difficulty like MXGP 2020, I'd be very, very grateful. However, MXGP 2020 I'm not great at. I'm okay, you know, I've won 1 race so far. I won 1 Grand Prix in my career mode. I don't know if you want to watch the career mode and ride on MXGP 2020. So I've just been sort of playing it by myself. I'm going to do some more videos on it soon. But for the time being, I really wanted to concentrate on Ride 4 because I've got quite a lot of catching up to do. I've got a lot of content already pre-recorded that I just need to do the voices over for. As that is our fastest lap of the race, 1:51.405. But of course, as always thinking about different content and different ways you can entertain. So if you do want to see more MXGP 2020 or more Ride 4, always let me know in the comment section below. Usually it seems to be that you guys are just happy for me to do whatever, but as always, if you do have requests, let me know. More than happy to oblige. Zero requested the Road Atlanta endurance race, hence the reason that's coming soon. And I think it was Maniac PT. I think it was you, dude. You wanted at least a 30-minute race on Christmas Day, so you'll be getting a 40-minute race. 10-minute ode. Just kidding. And yeah, so I guess, as always, keep letting me know. Absolutely love making content. Love to entertain. So keep me inundated with requests, I don't mind. As I don't know if you noticed the consistency on this lap, but 1,000th of a second again into that sector. This lap time is almost identical to the one before. I think we do actually get a little bit quicker. It's a little bit too much on the green. Personally, I would have handed myself a couple of tenths of a penalty there. Just to say no. But we now approach Biandetti 1. Biandetti 2 for the final time of asking. 4 tenths up. This bike is imploring me to do some time trials. Let me know in the comment section down below which time trial we should tackle next. Let me know what track you want to see us tackle on this bike. I'm not sure which one I'm fancying, but let me know and we'll see what we can do. So guys, that is another DrAce victory. And as always guys, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. And I shall see you next time. Ciao for now.